Hello, friends. This is Darren Hayes of Pigskin.com. Before we take you to your favorite Sports History Network show, just want to tell you a little bit about some merch that you can pick up that represents your favorite SHN podcast. So far, there's t-shirts, coffee mugs, and even books from some of the authors that do podcasts right here on SHN. Who could buy something better than that, than have the history right from the gentleman that you hear talking about it? But we also are adding things each and every day. And where's that store, may you ask? Well, it's at SportsHistoryNetwork.com. Up at the top, there is the SHN merch button. Click on that. It'll take you right to the store, and you can be representing your favorite podcast and show the world that, hey, on the swag that I'm using, it's the headquarters of sports yesteryear, Sports History Network, and my favorite podcaster, the Sports History Network store. Shop there today. Now it's time to take a sports break, a look at sports history on a daily basis. Hello, my friends in sports history. This is Darren Hayes of the Sports Jersey Dispatch podcast. Welcome once again to the Pigpen, your place for all things great in sports history. And welcome to our sports break for August 26th. And we have a lot that we're going to cover today. And there's a common theme to our history in sports today in the uniform numbers, because the Baltimore Orioles are going to come up not one, but two, but even more than that on occasions with some great athletes and different every single time in different eras too. So jersey numbers we'll talk about today are 4, 23, 15, 26, 32, 9, 33, and the number 16. It all starts off August 26, 1912 with Major League Baseball pitcher Walter Johnson's 16-game winning streak finally came to an end. Big relief for the rest of baseball. Not so good for Mr. Johnson and those Washington Senators. August 26, 1930, Chicago Cubs' Hack Wilson, who would eventually wear the number 4 in Major League Baseball, hit his 44th home run, breaking Chuck Klein's National League record at the time. August 26, 1938, the Montreal Maroons dropped from the NHL. Yes, that franchise that started up in the league in 1924-1925 season at the same time the Boston Bruins were added to the fold was dropped out of the NHL. Now, the Maroons shared the city with the Canadians for almost a decade and a half. Their purpose was to be the team of the English-speaking population of the city, while the Canadians appeased the French-speaking contingent. The Maroons filled a void left when the 1917 fire burned down the arena of a prior club called the Montreal Wanderers that were a National Hockey League team. At first, the Canadians organizations challenged the rise of the Maroons in the 24 season, but the NHL appeased them by handing over a good portion of the Maroons' $15,000 league entrance fee. Pretty good chunk of change during that era of the mid-1920s. Well, during their 14-year existence, the Maroons qualified for the playoffs in all but 3 seasons and won the Stanley Cup twice, both the 1926 and the 1935 seasons. But in 1935, even though they won the Stanley Cup and were undefeated in the postseason, the writing was on the wall due to mainly economic reasons incurred due to the Great Depression, with attendance being down and having those 2 teams in one city. August 26, 1947, the Dodgers' Dan Bankhead, number 23, who was the Major League Baseball's first African-American pitcher, tagged a home run in his very first MLB at-bat in a 16-3 loss to the Pittsburgh Pirates at Ebbets Field there in Brooklyn. August 26, 1962, the Minnesota Twins' Jack Kralik, number 15, tossed a no-hitter against the Kansas City Athletics for a 1-0 victory. Remember, 1962 was the first year that the Twins were in existence after formerly being the Washington Senators. August 26, 1966, Baltimore Orioles' Vic Rosnovsky, number 23, and Boog Powell, number 26, are the 4th duo to hit consecutive pinch hit home runs. August 26, 1967, speaking of Minnesota, Dean Chance, number 32, pitched a 2-1 no-hitter, and the Twins swept the Cleveland Indians that day. August 26, 1971, Major League Baseball's Baltimore Orioles' Don Buford, number 9, struck out 5 times in a single game. August 26, 1985, Baltimore Orioles' Eddie Murphy, number 33, well, he didn't strike out 5 times. He delivered 9 RBIs in a game against the California Angels. Big day for Eddie Murray. August 26, 1990, Bo Jackson, number 16 of the KC Royals, hit his 4th of 4 consecutive home runs, and a banner day for Bo Jackson as Bo knew baseball that day, that's for sure. Well, hey, we appreciate you joining us for this little bit of sports history and a sports break. Remember, you can join us each and every day. We're going to bring you some of the greatest things that happened on each day of the year. And depending on the season, that's what sport. Baseball's prevalent today in August, but about a month from now, we're going to have a mixture of sports, and it's going to really get entertaining and fun. And we call out those jersey numbers whenever we can. So till tomorrow, everybody, have a great sports history day. Sorry, but my pitching coach just called timeout, and he's coming out to the mound. I think I'm going to get yanked for a reliever. We'll see you back tomorrow for some more great sports history on Sports Jersey Dispatch Podcast. We invite you to check out our websites, jerseydispatch.com and pigskindispatch.com. Not only see the daily sports history, but to experience the preservation of great events and people that play the games. Find us on Pigskin Dispatch. There's also on social media outlets of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel to get all your daily sports history. Pigskin Dispatch is happy to be associated with the Sports History Network, the sports headquarters of yesteryear, found at sportshistorynetwork.com.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
It was just another ordinary day in the offices of the Pittsburgh Guardian newspaper circa 1924. But for Marla Delft, assistant editor, everything was about to change. For she was about to discover the awesome attractiveness of Row 1 brand retro sports paraphernalia items thanks to Orville Mulligan, sports writer.
And there it is.
Wow, Orville, that's really the bee's knees.
Isn't it just? A poster-sized replica of the actual 1909 World Series program cover.
I can see that. But where did you get it? And where'd you get it framed?
I ordered it from the Row 1 website, where over 6,000 items of sports memorabilia from the 1880s to the 1990s are available for reproduction, in multiple sizes and in several different materials, with over a dozen styles of frame to choose from for prints like this.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Delft would love to put up more of these in the office. But I'm equally as sure they're beyond this newspaper's budget.
Not at all, my dear Marla. See for yourself. Go to sportshistorynetwork.com/row1.
sportshistorynetwork.com/row1. Oh my, these are good prices. Oh, and look at this stuff. Oklahoma-Nebraska football, college basketball art, Michael Jordan items.
And so it
retro
was that
sports
Marla Delft
advertisement
discovered the
clapboards.
splendiferous magic of Row 1 sports memorabilia, arts, and prints. You can too by visiting sportshistorynetwork.com/row1. That's ROW1 today for access to the full Row 1 catalog of gallery prints and gifts like t-shirts, long-sleeve shirts, telephone cases, coffee mugs, blankets, pillows, towels, and even shower curtains. Act today for 15% discount off all prints with coupon code SHN15 and 20% off all other items with coupon code SHN20 at checkout. And keep your dial locked to the Sports History Network for the exciting chronicles of the 1920 sports world in Orville Mulligan, sports writer. Coming soon.